Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday, May 13th edition of City Life. My name is Hillari Wennerstrom. I'll be your host this morning, and all by myself until the 7 o'clock hour, so good luck to that.
Yeah, we'll be okay. Linda's not coming in today.
Yes. So we wish her well, and hopefully it's a nice, I think today's the last nice day, and for a couple of days after that it's going to rain a little bit, but I think it's sorely needed, so we'll take it.
Well, starting Saturday, it's going up to 70, and it's not going to go below 70 for at least a week.
Well, last week at this time I was in 96-degree weather, so
You were in Orlando.
I was in Orlando. It was 96, and in fact, when we left Friday, late afternoon, early evening, it was in the 90s, and when we landed back in Boston, it was in the 50s. So It was a little bit of a culture shock.
Hey, you went down to see your daughter who works at Disney.
I did. She is living her best life, making magic with the mouse. So it's all good. We took a couple of days and saw where she lived and had some fun.
Now, do you get in as the parent of a Disney employee? Do you get into the park at a discount rate?
We can get in at discounted rates. Disney, for their workers, every period of time that is worked, you get companion passes. So she had worked enough hours since we moved her in January to have companion passes for her brother and I.
A friend of mine, his name was Gary Balser. He used to do this. He originated this show. He's since gone to heaven. But he worked at Disney. So whenever I went down to Disney, he got free tickets for me. And we always had a great time. Gary's a good soul.
The odd thing about the companion pass is she had to be with us at all times. So so
they didn't have that rule then.
she has to check in first with her pass, and then she can get us in. And then if we went to Park Hop, even though she had already gotten us in, she still had to check in at the new park before we could get in. So
okay.
But we'll take the free pass in and had some fun. Our family has always loved Disney, so we enjoyed ourselves, and she's enjoying herself down there. Interestingly enough, we had an experience on the ride, the way home, the flight home. We landed in Boston, and as is everybody's custom, they're just eager to get off that plane. So, the minute you touch down, you got those people that stand right up. And so we touched down, and everybody started to, as it slowed to the gate and we thought we were there, everybody started to stand up and, grab their stuff out of the overhead bins. And all of a sudden, they came on and said, would everyone please, put their luggage back and take their seats. We need to we need to do something. And they weren't quite sure. And then all of a sudden, so everybody, puts their stuff back, gets in their seats again, and state troopers come on the flight. So probably, I think it was 3 of them, came on. So that was a little scary, and escorted a family that was in the back of the plane off. And come to find out, they were related to the state trooper that was killed on Route 1. Oh. I think it was a close family member, because they escorted them off, and then the entire jetway was lined with state troopers. As everybody got off the plane, they were still all kind of there waiting for they had little kids, their strollers and stuff to come off the jetway, but the jetway was lined with state troopers. So that was kind of a not knowing why they were coming on the plane and lining the jetway at the time was a little daunting when you got off the plane. And then when we got off to the up into the terminal, they had I overheard someone there talking to the gate agent that it was related to a state trooper's death, and then obviously
That was
coming
nice
home.
and respectful.
Yes, yes, because they were all, they were all very, as can be when they're in those positions. It's something to behold, a respect that's given, and a respect to the family.
Yeah, the poor guy, he was just trying to stop a wrong way driver, and didn't work out.
Yeah, so we had that happen on the way home. But when the plane stops and all of a sudden state troopers come on, you get a little nervous, like, whoa, what could have potentially gone wrong in the air? That didn't, but
Well, I would have instantly thought we have some troublemakers on the plane.
yes, that's immediately what I thought, and because as we were approaching landing, a woman came flying up from the back of the plane, and they said, "Ma'am, you got to take your seat," and she's like, "My son has to go to the bathroom." And they're like, "Ma'am, you have to take your seat." And she's like, "Well, he's got to go to the bathroom." And so she just proceeded to go to the bathroom. I thought that, the attendant who, we were sitting in the exit row with the attendant. And so she said, "Well, I can't stop you." And I thought you were allowed to stop people. I thought that the announcement at the beginning said, if you don't obey the instructions of the captain or the crew, you could be fined. But I don't know. She just
You
went about
can
her
be,
merry
and
way.
but when you look at all practicality, when you get some pushy gate agent and a pushy airline employee that pushes it to the limit, when they get to court, they fine the airline. Who doesn't have to go to the bathroom? So you got a little girl or a little boy, a little nervous, and they say, "I got to go to the bathroom." So what are you supposed to do? "Oh, go in the seat, honey. They'll understand."
But yes, but anyway, so that was the trip to Florida last week.
Weather was good. Was it crowded? Normal?
It was actually not. We've been over the years at just about every time of the year now, and I have to say this was not crowded. This was not crowded by far. The standards were not crowded.
Well, that makes it easy to get onto the rides.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few, popular ones that, had the 60 minutes, but I will always give Disney credit, they know how to snake people through lines, and you don't really realize how long you've been standing there or moving, because they do such a good job of either entertaining you or keeping you moving in such a way.
Well, this character, Gary Balser, he would get me, he knew people, and so we could skip the line sometimes, and I remember we skipped the whole line at Haunted Mansion.
Yes, we did. My daughter did a couple of fast passes for the things she knew her brother hadn't done since his last trip. So we did that, and we got to see where she worked and does stuff. So we one day we had I think we logged 8.5 miles, and the other day 10 miles.
Oh, boy, it's a lot of walking down there.
It is a lot of walking.
Because I know when we went down, Ellen and I went down about a year ago, just us, 22,000 steps in a day, and they're like, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
no wonder we're tired."
You sleep well.
So what airline did you take?
I am a JetBlue flyer for the most
Okay.
part. I have my loyalty card with them, and had some status built up. Didn't travel quite a bit, but I'm getting slowly back there. So I tend to do JetBlue. They have a nice flight. They have a couple of flight options from either Manchester or Logan that are direct to Orlando. So that tends to be the route I go.
Well, my daughter-in-law, Ann, she works for JetBlue.
Oh, okay.
So whenever we fly JetBlue, we get a little hello from the crew and an extra lollipop. But other than that,
There you go.
no big
Yes, and my ride in and out of Logan was made easy. I'll give a plug for Espanola Travel. They do a good job of picking you up and dropping you off, and then when you land, they're right there, ready to take you home. So, had a nice ride home with them on Friday night.
Joey's a good kid, works hard.
Yes, he is a very hard worker. He did say he was appreciating the cooler weather when he had to work with you a few times in a dark suit.
Yep. Well, we don't get Joe, we'll probably get him like once a year, because he mostly works at McKenna Willett. And
okay.
good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy. But he lives over in Delightful Drake, and he's been on the show a couple of times. In fact, he sat and ran the controls one day.
Oh, wow.
So, good guy. So, any hot news out in Tingsboro?
The election is next week, so we have, it's the first time in a while there's been a contested race for, I believe, the school committee and the Board of Selectmen. So.
Are you still paying them nothing?
The selectmen get a small stipend, the school committee does not.
That's got to stop.
The selectmen get, I think it's $1,200, $1,500, something like that. It's a small amount, and the school committee does not.
It's an awful lot of sacrifice.
Yes, the school committee a few years ago, there was an article, and they voted as a group to, and I applaud them for that, not take it to put it back in the school budget. So that was a choice a few years ago that they had the option. Again, it was going to be nominal, slightly less than the selectmen. So I always said, people said, oh, you get paid as a selectman. And I was like, yeah, you almost get back what you have to give out, because, when you're a public official, most people know where you live and like to knock on your door and ask you for a donation, and it's hard to say no.
It's impossible to say. What do you say to little league kids?
I mean, it's never ending, and it now that I don't have kids in the school, and my neighborhood was pretty young at the time. It's hard to believe we've all been in those houses 26, 27 years now. But, there was a period of time where everybody, pretty much every house, or every other house for the most part, had young kids. So nobody went door to door, because everybody had their own kids to kind of pay for. But now that the houses that have kids are few and far between, you get a lot more solicitations.
So back down to Florida, did you rent a car, or did you take the bus over there?
We rented a car primarily because my daughter's car isn't down there right now, and so we knew there was a few kind of off-campus places she wanted to go, and she needed to go pick up something that she was waiting for a car for. So.
Aren't you the good mom?
Yeah.
And your son had a good time?
Yes, he played golf, so that was his.
How old is he?
He is 26.
Oh, wow. He's into his own, baby.
Yep, so he went and played golf. He, booked his tee time, and they just match you up with people. And so he went over. He played a different course this time than he played in January when he dropped her off. So no alligators, but lots of bunnies and deers.
Why, he had alligators on the course last time?
No, but the course that he played this time usually has an alligator sighting, but he played a little later in the day, so they must have gotten their fill and were headed to bed by the time he played.
So at Disney, do you have a favorite ride?
I have a few. We do like we like the safari, and the safari we always do first thing in the morning when the animals are nice and cool, hopefully, and fresh, and so we got a good view of the lions, and we had some giraffes and other things come up.
Yeah, the safaris, very interesting. I don't particularly care for animals, but the kids, they love them.
Yeah.
To see a real giraffe, a real lion, real hippopotamus.
Yeah. So we did the safari. I love roller coasters, so I love going on roller coasters. I think the new Star Wars rides, they did an amazing job with some of that CGI and other stuff. It's really amazing.
Well, Disney does know how to play with your mind, with lights and smoke and mirrors to make you think you're doing 1,000 miles an hour and you're really doing 15. And
it's shocking after, this was the first time we have kind of that behind the scenes magic, and my daughter's done a bunch of the backstage tours when they come up and stuff, and she said some of those rides aren't as magical in the light, because when they do the backstage tours they leave all the lights on. So she said it's not as scary, but we
get into Space Mountain once with the lights on, and it was just like to marvel, to stand on the floor of the Space Mountain, to marvel at all the metal that's in there.
Yeah. She's a big Guardians of the Galaxy, so we do that every time, that ride. And
My current favorite's Soaring. I love
yes.
Soaring.
Yeah, and they're changing that for starting, I think, this month, because she's doing that. She got a preview of the new Soaring. It's Soaring Across America, so they're not for the summer and fall in honor of the 250th. They're doing all American sites, so sites in America.
Well, I'll enjoy that the next time I get down there.
So she's excited to do
So
that.
how was it? Just normally warm, 70s, 80s? What was it?
It was 90s. We arrived Tuesday and it was 90, and then it was 95 on Wednesday, 95 on Thursday, and then it was 96 when we left on Friday. So it was a big jump for my son coming from Vermont, where they still have snow on the mountain. So he was skiing just a couple of days ago.
What a contrast for that kid.
Yes, he was a little warm. My daughter was used to it. She was not bothered by it, because it was unseasonably cold when she got there in January, but now they had not hit 90 since August, so they warmed up fast.
Well, I'm looking forward to this week. As I said a little earlier, it's going to turn 70 on Saturday, and it's not going to go below 70 until at least a week later. Even got 80s coming next week.
Yeah, we got a little rain coming tomorrow and Friday, but come the weekend.
I'll be inside. Put the wipers on.
Yeah.
So politics and Tewksbury, there is 2 races?
Yes, the selectman and I believe a school committee seat. Yeah. 2 members of the Board of Selectmen, and there's 4 candidates running. So that'll be nice.
When is election day?
Next Tuesday.
Okay, so it's over soon. Okay, great.
Yep. There was unfortunately the timing of my trip. I missed town meeting, but getting the recap from people or the texts while people, where are you? Are you going to get up and talk? And I obviously was not getting up to talk. I was already in Orlando, but apparently it was a pretty long, fruitful night. So.
Well, Chelmsford was one. They had to turn it into 2 nights because too many people are talking.
That's happened a few times in Chelmsford in recent years that they don't accomplish it.
Chelmsford gets really
And
good
it's-
participation, and when I saw her on YouTube through your public access, you guys get a wicked good crowd too.
Yes, it's Chelmsford, being representative town meeting. I'm surprised at the sometimes the length that it has to go, only because it's not like Tewksbury where it's an open town meeting and anyone can get up and ask questions and often do, and it's I always found over the years a lot of times the questions asked, if people had just kind of paid attention all along, they might know some of that information, and so I'm shocked that also occurs at a representative town meeting, because I would assume those people are well versed in the issues.
Well, what's the difference? In Tewksbury, do you have to be a resident to speak?
Yes, but anybody can come. Chelmsford, they elect their town meeting representatives,
Yeah. And those are the only people who go?
the only people that can speak.
But they
Yep.
pack the room, though.
Those are the only people that can get up and talk.
Because Evelyn Thorne,
Yep.
and she's one of those meeting rep people. Maybe not this time around, but fantastic crowd.
And maybe they do let a number of other people in, but I believe in order to get up and participate and vote in the action, you have to be an
And no
elected
food?
representative.
No buffet, no pizza?
No pizza. And Tewksbury, they experimented starting at some different times. There was a year that, one of the COVID years, we did it on a Saturday, and I know Westford does a Saturday. It's amazing when, I do think the Saturday brought out a little bit of a different crowd. Now, whether that was COVID or not, but, I heard from a lot of people, and you see it at town meeting, whether it's an issue or something else. When the 9:30, 10 o'clock hour comes, you see a lot of people hightail it out. And so I do believe, that happened again this year, as they approached, between the 10 and 10:30 time frame, the room empties. And
Do you
so
you have to have a number of people
you have
called
to
a
have
quorum?
a quorum, yeah, but Tingsborough's threshold is pretty low.
So does anybody do a test after 10?
No, I mean,
Because they do that in Drake it. They'll test the quorum and they'll shut the meeting down.
they never have in Tingsboro. It's probably, when I say low, I want to say it's in like 70 people, so I think you can read the room.
Yeah, well, after 10 o'clock,
But there's been times where I think it's pretty low as we enter. That if they probably came close. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it's in the 70s.
now do you know what the agenda is before you get there?
Yeah, it has to be well advertised. The warrant has to be posted 2 weeks ahead of the meeting. So, again, there is opportunities for people to learn. I think some people, come that night, even though there's multiple opportunities. They do preview town meeting and go through the warrant at least a couple of times at the Board of Selectmen meeting. There's one or two community meetings, but people come, with a lot of questions, whether it's they want a live mic to get a little attention, or they genuinely couldn't make any of the other meetings to ask the questions.
Do they have a time limit they can speak?
It's supposed to be 5 minutes, but that's at the discretion of the moderator, and it's never been enforced whether that's 5 minutes, per item or 5 minutes per time at the mic. So whether it's 5 minutes on each article you get, or whether it's 5 minutes each time you're in line for the mic. So there's some people that have multiple questions, or they'll ask a question or two, sit down, then get up and ask another question or two, and then get up and make a few personal statements. It's supposed to be all speaking relative to the article.
Well, a good question for school committee people is this. How many people are in your senior class? And how many people are in your kindergarten class? And I was watching something on C-SPAN, who cares what day, some morning I was watching C-SPAN, and the guy said it's half. So we'll say you have 1,000 kids in your senior class.
Yep, the kindergarten class is only 500.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he said there are a lot of people who want to be teachers that can't be teachers. A whole generation of downsized families is coming along, is in kindergarten.
I mean, there's some ebb and flow years that I noticed on the school committee, and so you make some adjustments and then hope those adjustments, can pan out long term. I do think some of the things that Tingsboro did when they kind of reallocated what was considered, high school, middle school, elementary school, moving. When both my kids went through, there was an early education center that did preschool and kindergarten in their own building. Now they're all rolled into the elementary school because there were some small classes, and then there got to be some bigger classes. So hopefully those it just ebbs and flows as to what can be done, but yeah, if they're half the size.
Hillary, grab that mic you're using. It's starting to get a little crackly.
Oh.
So just turn him on the side and grab another one, will you? That's going to work good, thanks.
You want them both on?
Just the one you were using, just turn it on its side so I know I have to replace those batteries.
Oh.
Because at the end of the show, they all look the same.
Oh.
No, just turn it physically on its side.
Oh, now?
Like this. There you go. Now I know that's a...
Oh. There we go. Here, I'll move them over here.
Yeah, so the kindergartners don't have the company they once did. So if you used to have 2 first grade teachers, you're only going to need 1.
Right. And Tewksbury, I would say, over the years has done a really good job of kind of leveling some of that out. I do see, and I just see it based on, kids my kids had at certain grades and the leveling out of where those people are now. They're not necessarily in the same grade that they were. And some of it is adjustment based on class size, and some of it is adjustment based on the teacher and what, where their strengths lie.
So it's summer around the corner. Do you have any road trip plans?
Road trip. My brother and I do an annual road trip to visit our dad on his birthday in Virginia. So that's, my brother can't use the excuse he doesn't like to fly anymore because he recently flew. So I always give him a hard time. We would never fly to Virginia because my brother did not ever get on planes. Now all of a sudden he's gotten on a plane recently. But I still believe he likes to drive, and so we'll road trip it down to see our dad for his birthday at the end of June.
I like to drive because when you fly, 4 hours has gone out the window, and that doesn't include the flight. And in 4 hours, you can be in New York City.
I like to fly because in 4 hours I can be in Orlando versus in New York City. But no. It's fun. We've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years now. I think we started on one of my dad's milestones birthdays and have just kept going. So it's been it's fun.
Well, my wife Ellen, when we arrive at the destination, doesn't have any more fingernails.
On the flight or on the
in the car?
In the car.
In the car.
It's odd, and I won't. I know these people won't be watching the show, so I feel like I could say it. I was on a call yesterday with someone who, not in this area of the country, but another area of the country, and they took the call and were on video in the car while driving, and it didn't look like they were driving. And so I wanted to ask, are you in a self-driving car? Because she just, sat there like this the whole time, talking away on the phone, and I was like, I'm glad I'm not driving around you.
Well, as you probably remember, my wife, she's got self-driving in her car.
Yes.
And she never embraced it before. But January 1st, that was her, I'm going to embrace this self-driving. Now she loves it. She just, I love that self-driving. She doesn't let it take her home, but on the highway, she lets it take care of it, and she passes cars. And
wow. I get a little nervous with that when I see that. But yeah, this woman was just talking away and didn't look like she had, her hands were kind of like up, but it didn't look like she turned. It didn't look like she was
but once you get
actively engaged in the driving aspect of it. And
once you get it and you get comfortable with it, it's fantastic. It merges into traffic better than you can.
Do you find it's like either overly sensitive on the brake or the gas?
No, not at all. Because the toughest spot to going into Boston when you get off of 93 and you're going onto Starrell Drive.
Yeah.
That's the toughest merge that's around. And no problem. Just goes right through it.
Now, what happens if there's an accident and somebody hits you?
Hasn't happened.
And I just wondered what the insurance liability on that is. If you hit or somebody hits you, and the insurance could have determined maybe if you were actually behind the wheel, you would have not.
Well, it isn't like I sit in the passenger seat.
No, I
sit in
know.
the
I know
driver's
you have
seat.
to, right? But you know what I mean. If you were in control.
Well, it will call your attention. If your eyes are not on the road, it knows that, and it will tell you.
How does it know?
It's cameras. There's, I think, 2 cameras in the
So is there somebody that's watching your
Computer.
eye movement?
computer. The technology is just fantastic. I mean, just think about Waze. You turn Waze. How does Waze know where you are? where
Wow.
you're going. Just amazing stuff.
I mean, because they ping your cell phone. Or your car has a GPS tracker.
And it knows where to go.
I mean, that's the thing, too, at Disney. You know, they know where you are in the parks at all
Because
times.
of your little wristwatch they give you.
Yeah, they don't give you the wristwatch anymore for free. You have to buy it. But, you know, most of the time you have to have an app on your phone that, you know, so
Oh.
if you don't buy the wristbands anymore, you can check in with an app on your phone. Like your ticket comes up. My room keys come up. Like I don't have a room key. My room key's on my phone.
Wow, fascinating.
You can, you know, we had dinner reservations and, you know, they tell you check in at a certain time for your dinner reservation. And if you're not within close proximity to wherever it is they think you should be to check in, it'll tell you you can't check in. So we were running a minute or two late and for something, and my daughter kept trying to check in and it kept telling her she was too far away. So she was getting very frustrated.
I would too.
She kept refreshing. And so we're like, all right, just wait until you get on the property and then you can check in.
So did you find any interesting eateries when you were down there?
Yeah, we
Orlando?
tried all new places this time, which was fun.
Is Disney food getting any better?
I think Disney food, Disney food now, some of their restaurants, I will say, going down there, you know, they can accommodate just about any dietary issue you have. You just let them know and they'll take care of it. So yeah, we had some fun stuff. My daughter, one of her locations is the Polynesian, and so they only have this special Dole Whip that's offered to guests of the Polynesian. So we got to try the Polynesian.
You can get Dole Whip around here.
Yes.
Southern New Hampshire has a place. My wife used to crave that.
Yeah.
So we'd have to track down this place in
I
Southern
heard
New Hampshire.
Pressed Cafe, if you're a fan of Pressed Cafe, the one in Chelmsford is now offering frozen yogurt similar to Dole Whip.
Similar.
I mean, they can't market it as Dole Whip, right? Because that's a
That's like
branded.
a Ford is almost a Chevrolet, and a Chevrolet is almost a Ford.
But yes, we got to try the Polynesian only. They have a Polynesian only Sprite. So it's a more fruity or flavored Sprite.
So what hotel did you stay at?
We this time stayed at the Swan Reserve because I had some points and to rebook something. Normally I own a condo, so we normally stay at a condo.
Oh, okay.
We were at the Swan Reserve, so that was a totally different experience for us as well.
How'd you like the Swan? I went to a wedding at the Swan.
You know, it's nice and it's a convenient location because you can walk to Epcot and you can walk to Hollywood Studios or take the boat or the Skyliner. So we liked that aspect of it. But I do like, especially with the kids their ages now, not being in a hotel room, but being in a condo. So, and we can, normally we do breakfast and stuff at the condo when we're there. So we had, but it was fun. I'd never
Beautiful.
stayed there. It's beautiful.
Relaxing family time.
Yeah, my daughter's 3 properties where she's at are pretty nice. They're high-end properties for Disney, so we got to go over and visit all that as well.
Nice. So did you hear about that shooting in Boston? Where were you when you heard
I
about
did,
it?
yeah, because it was just the other night, right?
Yep.
It was this week, and I want to say I turned on the news and it was on there, and that captivated me for a good half an hour or so as they were just had gotten the gentleman into custody.
And to see the video of the guy, he's already been shot, he's laying on the ground, and he's still peppering rounds out of his gun. Crazy.
Yeah, you always wonder what you would do in that circumstance. When they were interviewing the woman who said, he approached her car and just said, "Get out of the car." Do you get out of the car when someone's got a gun pointed at you? Or do you just stay in the car and say, I might be better off in the car than out of the car?
It's good to think about it beforehand. The biggest mistake everybody makes is they travel too close to the car in front of them. so you can't drive away.
So, right, because he was walking, right? He was not,
And in stop traffic, everybody's bumper to bumper. And my little rule is, and I got it from my friend Cliff Krieger, is the hood of the car is underneath the wheels of the car in front of me. So I can see the wheels of the car in front of me. And so I have enough time to pull out of traffic if I have to.
yeah.
And if a guy like that approached me, I would just drive on the other side of the street. As long as you keep moving, it's harder for him to hit you with a bullet because you're a moving target.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was, kind of frightening to watch, and certainly, frightening when you hear some of the details about, the circumstances that kind of led that, meaning he probably, by all accounts, should have been under some type of supervision a little closer than what he had.
Well, I was watching Channel 25 this morning, and I like to watch Channel 25 because they have all these reports, and they'll try to get somebody interviewed, and they tried to interview his judge. And they went to the judge. Somehow, I don't know how they found it. Who cares? They found the judge's house. They ring her doorbell. She comes to the door and says to the camera guy, "I have no comment." And somehow he got out of her that she didn't remember the case at all. And
I guess, she doesn't remember because she has such a heavy caseload, or she doesn't remember because of the timing of it? But it was pretty recent, right? He should have still been incarcerated.
well, it calls her judgment into play for sure. And I don't particularly care for how we see judges where they have the job like the Pope forever. And I just think that that should get changed. But the lazy state reps that we have don't want to change that law. And these judges, they're popes. Nothing's going to happen to that woman. She's going to have her job forever.
I could, again, see if there was an instance where, it was, judges see, some judges might see 150, I don't know what the number is, cases in a day, a week, or whatever it is, and you kind of just paper shuffle people through depending on what their charges are. But there was substantial charges against this person, and by all accounts, he should have still been incarcerated, is what I gleaned.
Shooting at the cops, yeah.
So, the fact that she doesn't remember that and turned him loose is probably problematic. I agree.
Well, did she read the whole file on the guy? You got a bunch of... I remember an episode where I used to do city council meetings in Lowell. There was one city councilor. There's a thing called a packet, and I'm sure when you were a selectwoman, you got a packet. It's a manila envelope with all the contents of what you're going to talk about that night. And he would toss his in the barrel unopened every week.
Oh, you'd see people, primarily when I was in elected office, it was starting to become the age where everything was computerized, and you got everything via email or computer, and we're responsible for printing it out. But I think my first school committee election, we used to have to swing by and pick up the packets, or someone would drop the packet off. But yeah, I over the years, same thing, have worked for boards of directors or been on boards of directors where, people get the materials mailed to them and they're walking in the door ripping the envelope open. So you're like, I know you did zero preparation for this meeting, but it's, yeah.
Well, when you have a volunteer, my favorite board to be on was always a bank board. Because a bank board, you get $500 an hour for just sitting there. And so I would do my homework, on whatever bank board I was sitting on, do my homework. But the other boards, they'd send you like 500 pages to read. I'm a freebie. I don't care. And they'd also put the tensile strength of the police cruiser doors in the packet. I don't care about tensile strength. But they'd put 100 pages of tensile strength in there, wasting my mind time.
Well, certainly the judge was not volunteering her service, so it's a little bit disheartening to see that. But I guess, that could be the state of our judicial system right now. I don't have a lot of confidence on any given day in the judicial system, primarily when we moved from, and I see the point of restorative justice and what that can mean, but I do also think there's a level of something in your mind that there has to be consequences for people's actions. Otherwise, we have, people just running free and not, getting assault-style weapons.
Well, what kind of consequences should she have to face? We'll make you the queen.
I do think there has to be some conversation about her level of judgment and what were the circumstances as to why this person was released, and answer for that.
Well, the payback's going to be nobody gets paroled. That's the payback.
Well, but see, and that's probably, the problem, right? It's one or the other versus saying, it's not that nobody deserves parole. It's that, there has to be a threshold, and there has to be some accountability for if you're paroling someone, you have to take some level of responsibility while they're paroled.
Well, what I don't understand is, and I used to watch the court, they only work until noontime, and then the day's done. Why don't they work in the afternoon? And the judge does not take questions. Your Honor, why don't you work in the afternoon? I don't have to talk to you, and I'm not going to talk to you.
I've been to some courts in the afternoon, so I think some courts work in the afternoon.
Bet you were gone by 2.
Um,
Unless the case was going to end.
Yes, the case was going to end, so we were there later than that. But
All other times by lunch, you don't come back. You don't come back after lunch.
Interesting. I did just, as we were talking, I don't know why it popped into my mind because it's completely irrelevant, but Tewksbury had a big day yesterday. One of the winning Mass Dot snowplows was a winning class from Tewksbury. So they brought the big truck out and
I think they had a picture
did
of
a
that.
big ceremony at the elementary school with the winning class. I think there was something like Flake May or something like that related to the naming of the vehicle.
I think it was in the Sun yesterday. I'll see if I can get that up there.
So that was very exciting for that Tewksbury class and the elementary school and a bunch of dignitaries came out to take photos with the truck.
That's nice.
Yeah. So congratulations to that class. I don't think I recognized the teacher's name, but
They're winners. They named the snowplow.
Yeah, they were one of the winning snowplow names. So hopefully the snowplows are put away for the season now.
Oh, please. I certainly hope so.
Although my son still gets a camera feed from up on the mountain where he worked in Vermont, and they had snow showers up on the mountain the other day. So still getting a little bit of snow up there.
It was front page yesterday in the Lowell Sun. Let me see if I can get that on the screen.
Oh, yeah, Flake. There we go.
So front page yesterday's Lowell Sun is Flake May. So students in the Jillian McCoy 4th grade class, Tewksbury Elementary School, line up to sit in the cabin of Flake May, a Massachusetts Department of Transportation snowplow named by McCoy's class through the snowplow contest.
Yeah, I think every year they.
So the teacher's name is Jillian McCoy. Congratulations, Jillian. Nice job.
Yes. So must be naming a truck is not like naming a boat where you can't change the name of the boat or it's bad juju. But I think every year they they unveil this contest and you get to name the you get to submit names for the snowplows because I've seen it a few times in the past few years.
Good crowd of kids.
Yeah.
So again, congratulations. Thank you, Lowell, for putting on the front page yesterday. It was an easy find for me.
And a nice article for the Lowell Sun. I wonder where they found, got the photographer out there.
Well, Peter Currier, he's reported for the Sun.
And I think he's somewhat local.
He took the picture.
Oh, okay. So now you're a report. So now the Lowell Sun has you reporting and doing photography, whereas before.
Well, the staff is just shrinking and shrinking. And, hey, we're lucky to still have them, because without the newspaper, there's nobody to police the government.
But in some cases, is the newspaper policing the government? Or are they just giving their opinion?
Not like they once did, but the government still respects the fact that they can be reported on by the newspaper. When there's no newspaper, the shenanigans begin.
How many people do you think still get printed copies of the newspaper?
A lot. I have no idea. There's a thing when you go to page 2 of the paper. Let me go to page 2 of yesterday's paper. Put it on the screen so you can enjoy looking at it too. And down here is all the logistical information about how many deliveries they have and blah, 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 blah. And there's too much verbiage there to really help me understand how many papers are actually being printed and put out the door. But by federal law, they have to produce that. And so it's someplace in that jargon there that they talk about how many. Mm-hmm. So page 2 of your Lowell Sun, this is the electronic version, which is what I get. And which I
So does the electronic version report on electronic paid subscriptions or both? Print and...
I think the federal law is just printed.
Oh, okay.
Electronic didn't exist when they passed the law.
Because more and more, there's still some free publications out there, but more and more, you only get a limited number of views of articles. And some it's not even free. So, if I scroll through, Google and see what ads they want to give me, and an interesting story comes up, like the New York Times or something, doesn't even let you read any of them for free. Like, all of a sudden you used to be able to read 2 a month or something, and I'm not sure how it was policed. But now the New York Times doesn't let you read any. So the article will show up in Google, in your Google feed, and you might want to read it, but if you do, you gotta pay.
Well, usually if you search that, like a guy hits his grandmother with a roller skate, if you put that in your Google search, you can find the free article to read about it.
Very few now. Very few.
Oh, okay.
Obituaries are always free.
That's because we pay a fortune. They're $600 a piece.
Oh, I know. But obituaries are always... I do visit the Lowell Sun frequently to scroll through and see if I occasionally have found a person or two that crossed my path.
So if you're wondering, Linda Bown will be here next week. She's not here today. She took the day off.
Good for her. She's a hard-working lady.
She is. She's got 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Plus she does volunteer here.
And she's on the Conservation Commission. So I'm not sure what nights they meet, but sometimes they're out a little late. So she's out sometimes late at night as well.
Well, she was not feeling, when I talked to her this morning via text, she was feeling much less than tip-top. So I said, go back to bed. I got Hillary, we'll make it happen. And she just got you yesterday, didn't she?
She did. She got me yesterday. And honestly, when I woke up this morning, I thought, she told, and you sent me the picture of who was going to be here. And I thought there was one other name on there. I thought, do they really need me? I'm not sure they do. It'll I'll just be noise in the conversation. But I'm glad I
I'm
didn't
glad you
bail on
came.
you.
Yeah, one of the people on the list yesterday, there was a misunderstanding there, so she's coming next month.
Oh, good. But yeah, there was that brief moment of, am I really needed? But I'm glad I, once you, are awake enough at a certain point, you're like, if I'm awake enough to think about this, I probably should just get up anyway. So.
Well, I'm glad you did.
And the sky was beautiful this morning, and as I was getting ready and driving here, it's always nice when you look out and the sky's that nice shade of like pink and purple and very, very nice.
Beautiful sunrises.
I forget, we always used to listen to the radio station that would give you, the night before would tell you, based on the color of the sky at the sunset, they could give you the weather for the next day.
My grandmother used
forget.
to tell me about a mackerel sky. The mackerel sky. I don't know what the mackerel sky meant. It had something to do with the fishermen and stuff like that, but she had a lovely tale. She was born in Ireland, so she had all these old-time stories. I used to love to listen to her.
Yes. So as we approach the 7 o'clock hour, we'll get to hear what happened last night at the Lowell City Council meeting from Councilor Kim Scott. And so look forward to that conversation with her in just a few minutes.
Need somebody else to talk to?
Yes. Give my voice a break. People probably get tired of.
Yesterday we
hearing it.
had 5 people sitting over there.
Wow.
So it's just some days you have way too many, some days you don't have enough. But hey, we'll be okay. We're making it okay.
Yes. I did notice that Lowell had some type of festival last weekend. Was that?
I heard about it. I was unaware of it.
I wasn't quite following whether it was like a mini folk fest or something completely different. Maybe we'll ask Councilor Scott when she arrives. But it seemed like that was an out of the ordinary event. I was still shell-shocked from being cold, so I didn't leave the house very much last Saturday.
Well, I had no idea anything was going on until I saw pictures on Facebook. So, I'm just trying to find the sunrise right now. Put it up on the screen so you guys can watch. Try a little to the right.
There it is.
We're not going to see the sunrise today, kid. Too cloudy.
Is the clock on City Hall still working?
I think that's. Oh yeah, let's see. I think that's number 3.
That's.
Yeah.
There we go. Almost 7 o'clock. Still going.
Still working.
You like to report on that when it wasn't working.
Well, the story I would tell about that is I'm walking into City Hall. This has to be 20 years ago, and Bernie Lynch was the manager.
I know Bernie well.
I like Bernie.
I did too.
So I says to him, Bernie, when's the clock gonna get fixed in the clock tower? He said, who told you it was broken? I says, I looked up. So that's this.
There you go.
Close to mine there.
There you go. And I'll also, since we are broadcast in Chelmsford, offer congratulations to my friend John Souza, the interim town manager over there.
Who doesn't like John Souza? What a nice, kind guy.
Yes, he served on a board for an organization that I worked for. Just a very thoughtful, kind individual. So when I saw his name as interim town manager, I haven't talked to John in a little while to know whether like that. I don't think that's ever anything he really wants long term. But congratulations for getting that honor while you have it, John. And if you want it long term, you'd be perfect for it.
I agree. I like John. And to Paul Cohen, good luck.
Yeah.
Enjoy your exit of New Hampshire. 17,000 people. Small town. Here's Kim now.
Yes.
Hey, Kim, are you here? The door should be open, and try to lock it when you come in. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, Kim's here.
So I don't think I would know how to lock or unlock it.
Oh, it's
Is-
okay.
Is there like, well,
There's
when you
like a
say
little-
try to lock
there's a little
it?
turn thing.
Oh. So I
It's all electronic.
got it. I mean, I would know how to flick the switch, but if, like, in just saying, like, try to lock it, I don't know that I would.
Well, if she can't, it's not the end of the world. But we do like to, because I do have one incident where we had about 2 years ago, homeless guy trying all the car doors
No, okay.
while we're on the air. So I was glad everybody had their car locked. But had he come in the kitchen door, that would have been a real problem.
Yes. Do you see many unhoused people down this way?
Less and less. The city says there's none. So
I
for my
don't
friend Eric Gitcher, I'm going to start taking pictures of them, so Eric knows for sure.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't know that I've run into very many down in this neck of the woods,
Hey,
so
Kim,
to
how are you?
speak.
So we're going to go to break, kids, and we'll be back. Thanks.
Good morning.
Flying solo.
Facebook is on.
Okay.
Everything you say right now is going on Facebook.
Good morning, everyone.
I don't think you want to say anything bad.
Oh, I got lots of
on, kiddo.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Hillari Wennerstrom, and joining me now is Councilor Kim Scott. So,
Good morning.
welcome to the 7 o'clock hour of City
Company.
Life.
Yes,
Yes,
some company.
a different voice, which I'm grateful for. But also with us is our producer. I neglected to introduce you in the first hour. I apologize. You can dock my
I'm
pay.
good. I'm here every day, but Linda
We all know
Bown's
who
not,
he is.
Linda Bown's not feeling tip-top, so she rightfully banged out.
I wonder if she has allergies. I woke up this morning, the worst allergies I've had all year, I think.
People that have never had, that I've never known over the years to have allergy issues are having issues
I've
this
always
year.
had them.
I have two, and my kids have had them. But
Usually take Zyrtec every day, and I haven't been, so it's my own fault. But yeah, so
my
bad.
kids had them bad, and I remember one year their pediatrician said, make sure that they wash their hair every night before bed or change their pillowcases every day, because you don't realize the pollen that's on your body, and then you get in bed and you absorb you breathe that in all night on your pillowcases or on your sheets. If you
I've never heard that.
So that, I don't know that it makes a huge difference, but maybe slightly.
Yeah.
So we've had
What are we talking about?
we've had an hour of just rambling on.
Dole
of-
Whip. I had the Dole Whip.
Yes,
There's a
my-
place in Chelmsford that sells Dole Whip, I guess. The soft serve Dole Whip, like
Yes,
the pineapple. My kids go there.
It's
like
like
a-
Pressed Cafe is also starting to
It's
serve
not
it, I heard.
Chelmsford. It's not the creamery like Gary's Creamery, but it's something like that. It's in Chelmsford.
Oh, okay.
Country Creamery, maybe in Chelmsford. I guess they sell that, and all the kids go
I just
there.
go to Gary's. I don't go.
Yeah. I wonder if he sells it there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we had our meeting last night. It was a good meeting. A few hot topics. The nonprofit subcommittee was a big topic. The language that's been incorporated from the federal government for the grants, for the CDBG grants, that there's certain language that they're not allowed to include anymore in their applications.
Oh,
Is the
right.
senior center still stuck in secret squirrel meetings?
Yes, it is. Yes. it's
When is
still
it going to
stuck.
come out? Because that's 2 years ago. We should have owned it for $1.
Yeah, I agree, and we've talked about that. The owner of the property did us no service.
Let's take him
To
to
the
court.
city.
Let's go to court.
Well, it's not settled yet, John. Right? So
No, he's in violations of the contract for over a year. I say take him to court.
well, it's trying to be resolved so that we end up with the larger property. So
ultimately, and I know you can't disclose too much, but regardless of the circumstance, do they have to move? Are they going to have to move?
no, that's what we're trying not to.
Oh,
Just
trying not to
stay
move
where they
them.
are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't followed it for a little bit, but I know there was talks of potentially moving them. So that's good.
Right now, that's not on the table. That's not what we're looking to do. So
People
different
don't-
direction.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Went a
Because
different
people don't do
direction.
well with change,
No,
regardless
not
of.
at all.
And Tewksbury had their senior center a number of years ago. There was a new one built as a result of some, over 55 housing, and people still complained. They were moving from an old building, but it was across the river and
we
this
all
and that.
don't like change.
So, I just, to the extent that we can accommodate them, I think they get comfortable driving a certain pattern and doing things. I mean, years later, the center is flourishing, and in fact, they no longer call it the senior center. They call it the Center for Active Living.
Oh, change your name, huh?
Which I thought, Center for Active Living, I'm active living.
Yeah.
Maybe I qualify to go there.
I know. I'm getting closer
I am
and closer.
pretty, I know, I was gonna say, we're getting there.
My
Somebody,
mother does the circuit of senior centers because they all get federal funds, so they're like open to everybody in every town. I don't know if everyone knows that. So she goes and does her exercise class in Wilmington one day, and Billerica 2 days, and Chelmsford one day,
Oh, wow.
depending on the class and what time she likes. So and she likes meeting the different people in the different communities and.
I think the Nashua, I just heard my friend did one of those classes, and it's at the Nashua Senior Center, and they don't even necessarily age restrict. They do this rhythmic drum class, and they
Oh,
said it
really?
was really, really fun. So she's like, oh, we should go to the Nashua Senior Center. and try it.
She likes the ones that you move, she says. Like some of them, I
Yes.
guess, are really more slow paced. So
A message from the audience that Bart says this. Yesterday he saw a sign on Gorham Street reminding people to keep the drains clear for melting snow. We haven't had a snow on the ground for almost 2 months. Time to put the signs away. Well, but it's gonna rain like crazy for the next couple of days, so, if your, sewer cover is covered with, or your drain
Leaves.
is covered with leaves, they're gonna flood your house.
We'll change the message to leaves
Yeah.
instead of snow. But, yeah, where are they, oh, it's still out on Gorham Street?
He said Gorham Street, yeah.
Yeah, okay. They took the one off Woburn Street a little while ago, so. Yeah, so we had our meeting last night, and the funding was a big issue, the applications. We had a lot of the nonprofits that came a few weeks ago, I think it was, for the nonprofit subcommittee. You know, the issue is they want, you know, they want to stand by their mission, and they don't want to remove the language. They don't want to remove, they'd have to remove everything, any mention of diversity, equity, like there's all these
Yeah.
different keywords. So we had a mandatory meeting they all had to attend before they could apply for any funding from the city. And they were told what the rules were, and most of them chose not to apply.
Wow.
which-
Kim, do we have a committee that, helps out the small businesses?
Do we have a committee?
Yeah, because we have a committee that tries to help out the not-for-profits, so the not-for-profits have their
Well,
place.
we have an economic development subcommittee, just like we have a nonprofit
So you
subcommittee.
think that's what they do, the economic development, they help the small businesses?
That's what they're supposed to do. Well, we have an economic development department, Ally Carter, who does a great job.
Because I would like to ask them, why did the registry leave?
Register motor vehicles?
Yes.
No, because they want a bigger place with more parking. It's supposed to go to Plain Street, the Target
They're in a
Plaza.
parking garage now,
Right, but that's not what
and they
people,
have a
that's not
ton
what
of
people are
space.
looking for, so they
ton
don't,
of space.
you know, and
So-
they have to do road tests and
And
everything
why
like
did-
that, so they want a place where they can park a certain amount of vehicles, and, so they're looking at the Target Plaza, at the end of the Target Plaza.
Yep,
Yeah.
I know the building.
Yeah.
It's smaller, but the,
Oh, it's a huge building at the end, it's
Oh,
right at the
really?
very end of the plaza.
I used to, practice my J-turns in their parking lot.
On the back
It's,
there,
it's
yeah,
not as big as you think it is.
yeah, there's a
But
lot
that-
of parking back
That's
there.
my mind against yours. The
Yeah. But
Hafner's,
they're
what-
staying in city, there's been a lot of work done to try to keep them in Lowell, so.
what's Hafner's doing? Why did Hafner's leave on Appleton and South?
I didn't know Hefner's left on Appleton, so.
Gone. I gotta call into them to ask them why they left. We'll see if they call me back.
Yeah. Are they closed permanently, or are they just, you don't know?
Signs are gone,
Oh, okay.
so, and like most organizations, they don't take questions.
Yeah.
I'll try to call them again today. See if I get an answer.
It's tough down there.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah. I've called a few times myself. I go down there to Romeo and Juliet there to get some stuff, and, yeah, and it's hard.
So you were saying that some, you know, a number of the nonprofits are just choosing not to apply based on the changes to
Yeah, the
the
large number of them
language.
did.
That, you
Chose
know,
not to.
that's kind of
'Cause
unfortunate.
they're
that-
going through their websites, they're checking everything, that they
Yeah.
can't have pronouns on their names, and there's all these rules that are, you know, and I commend the ones that choose not to, you know, if you can do that, obviously,
Right.
it's not easy if it's funding that's, so, I mean, there was a little bit of a, you know, I guess the back and forth was that they were asking the city basically to, you know, they don't wanna follow the federal rules, so they want us, we would kind of be taking the risk, that if the money
Right.
got, you know,
Yeah.
pulled back, that the city would have to cover it, which is something that we obviously can't do, especially right now, and
Right.
very tough financial times for the city right now.
Yeah, I mean, and that, you know, some of those, you know, it took a long time for them when it was a mandate that they had to do it, and now just a few years later to kind of dial it all back down.
Oh, yeah, the opposite, yeah.
Plus, you know, I've worked for a number of organizations that, you know, that's at the heart of some of what they do.
Right.
So, you know, to now say, you know, even though before they might not have been as pronounced in some of it, it really, that gave them the opportunity to refine and get to the core of their mission, and to now have to dial that back, seems,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
I
a,
guess
it's a
what
tough
is-
situation all
what
the
is
way
the harm
around.
in having some of
I
that
have no
there?
idea.
Like, that's
Diversity,
my,
equity,
yeah.
I mean, what's the, you know, we obviously don't agree with it, but that's
Right.
not what's at question right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was good for the council kind of to say, you know, we're against this, we don't agree with it. You know, there were three three companies that nonprofits that did apply. Still trying to figure out, one of them, I guess, applied late and did have some language that wasn't okay. Two of them seem to have followed the rules, and I think, I still have to get a little more information, is that even then, the decision was made at the city level not to take the risk of funding being pulled. So they're keeping the funds in-house to use for the, you know. So, yeah, it's tough. And then we had, I had a motion about my data center moratorium. So we put the moratorium in place, and the idea for the moratorium was for us to take a pause to be able to work on our planning and our zoning around data centers, and really to discuss whether or not we want them, don't want them, and what should be in place as far as buffers, you know, how far should the equipment be away from people's houses, you know, landscape screening, you know, the utilities, the power lines that feed them, this massive infrastructure that goes along with these. So I really want to have a community forum to start the discussion.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's the community that's upset, obviously, about what's been happening out at Prince, and they're trying to expand. They have 3 more subdivision plans that they applied for.
Wow.
So
now, I know in some cases, it becomes harder and harder for the local municipality to rule it when they're licensed by the state or, higher up beyond you. Is there a lot of pushback on that level?
Well, there's the air quality permits that they go through for the state. I mean, we have some local control, obviously, as far as what I just talked about, the zoning. I mean, some places that's going away. The states are kind of, taking that away from the local. Hopefully that doesn't happen here in Massachusetts. I would advise people to reach out to their state lawmakers as well with their concerns, as, in addition to the city council. But there is some pushback right now. The local group has come together. They're called Honest Futures for Lowell, and they are suing the state right now, the Mass DEP. I think the article that was written didn't really make it clear that they're not suing the city. It's the state for the air quality permit that they're suing.
Well, the company is trying to circumvent the local authorities, going through the state authorities only.
Well,
Trying to get these an additional 17 generators.
well, the state is the authority on that, though. They are the permitting authority for
I
those
understand, but
generators.
usually they're holding the city's hand on their way down to Boston, and
Well,
this
what-
time they're not doing the
Yeah,
city
what
at
they
all.
did though, was they basically, the state kind of gave them like an emergency, the way I read it is that they gave them kind of an emergency push through on the permit. And what they're contending is that it didn't allow their, voice to be heard.
Yeah.
So they have a law group that's, representing them right now.
I did read that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't clear 100% who they were.
Yeah, who they were suing, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's always tough, and, it always comes back to, some people, again, threaten to sue, like, if you deny their permit based on, X, Y, and Z, and sometimes I would be like, well, then sue us. Like, that's not gonna change my mind. I still don't think you should be there. Just because somebody else got to be a bad neighbor doesn't mean you get to be a bad
Yeah,
neighbor.
they do
And
that a lot. I
They
don't
seem
know
to
if you
say,
noticed that.
Prince Spaghetti
Look how
wasn't.
bad it was
blah,
there,
blah,
and look how much better we are. And it's like, well, but yet no one was complaining. And when I walked, door knocking in the neighborhood, the one difference I can tell you is that so many people worked at Prince Spaghetti. Like, they'll all tell me the story about how they used to walk to work, and we're talking about all the cars in the neighborhood and the
And
overabundance of
Commodore
cars.
Foods
Everyone's
and
commuting.
Prince Macaroni, they were the big employers.
They were, yeah. And that's the difference. I mean, that's one big difference. If you have community buy-in because everybody's employed there and walks to work there, then
Yeah.
it's
Now,
a little
have you
different.
seen the guy with the rifle walking around?
Yes.
Oh, you've seen him with
at
the
the
rifle?
gate? Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but people send me pictures of him. So
Oh, this is
what's
high
their
security.
excuse? What's this excuse for? If I take my rifle and I start walking around the parking lot, don't you think the cops will show up and ask me, "What are you doing, Mac?"
They're private property, I guess. I mean, they have those ballasts like
I
up
have
through
private
the ground,
property,
like
too.
you're in DC.
I have private property too.
Yeah.
But you can come in and out of your property, even though it might be the wrong
But
way.
it's
These
all
guys
these
don't let you
excuses
come,
that
it sounds
the
like.
city should go on their property and say, "Okay, buddy, why are you walking around this property with a high-capacity rifle next to a school? Why are you doing this?"
Yeah. I haven't seen a rifle. I've seen them with the hand
No, that's what I'm talking about.
guns.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
somebody with high capacity, has a pretty good sized gun clip that I've seen pictures of. And because you're closer to it than I just wonder if you had saw that guy.
Yeah, not that, no. I mean, they're
Okay.
pretty high, they're pretty enclosed there. I guess maybe if you're standing up at some of the houses on Iowa, you probably could see them, but walking around,
Assume one of the neighbors saw the guy through the fence.
yeah.
It just snapped
yeah.
the picture. Everybody's got a phone nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely high security. I mean, they're storing
For what?
secure data.
For what?
They're storing secure data. I mean, they're probably for, the state police, for the universities,
Why don't they have a
the
helicopter to
hospitals.
fly around and stuff?
I don't know. It's definitely,
That's not neighborhood friendly.
no, not at all. Right with
No,
the school
We
there
have,
and,
we're, the field behind my house is a medvac site, and when the helicopter comes in, the houses around it, the first time it happened to me, I thought, the end of the world was coming.
yeah, I mean, you have the preschool playground right there. You have Olivera Field right behind it with a lovely view of, 18 generators in front of you. It's not a good location. That's for sure. So it's zone light industrial, but it's very close to the neighbors.
So how did your motion go last night? Was it favorably
Yeah,
received?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's for community input, of course, everyone's open to that.
Speaking of medical helicopter, this is my grandson down at, he got out of Mass General yesterday, so we're tickled to have him home. But here he is on the 17th floor watching the helicopters land.
Oh, that's cute.
So,
Yeah.
He's okay?
yeah, he's back in good graces. He's back home, so.
Oh, good,
Oh, good.
good, good.
But he loves watching the helicopters take off.
Yeah, that's neat.
I mean, they're a feat to behold when they, because they can come right down and just drop, where a plane,
I don't know if
has
I've
to.
ever even seen one land right in front of me.
Practice makes perfect.
They were hovering right over my shed, and I was like, how are they gonna come in? But they can just hover, and then scoot and drop.
Well, as long as they got that windsock, if they don't have the windsock, they're guessing what the wind's gonna do. But that's what they got. I get good views in Burlington, at the Leahy Clinic has a nice landing site, and so does Lowell General. Nice landing site there too.
My other motion I had was on, there were just some small motions, but one of them was on curb cuts for paving your driveway, which seems small, but it actually affects quite a lot of people in the city. So, if you're in a traditional single-family zone, which is, South Lowell, Back Central, different, parts of the Highlands, we can have a 15-foot curb cut for our driveways, which means you can't have a 2-car wide driveway.
Oh, wow.
So what you end up with is, some people will go in 15 feet and then, they'll fan it out. So they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a 4-car driveway, but you end up with a lot of people that don't park at the end of the driveway, or they park out on the street. They park the cars because you have to get out in the morning and you can't get 2 cars side by side at the end of the driveway. So if you're in Belvedere or you're in Pawtuckaville and you're in a suburban single-family zone, you're allowed to have a 20-foot wide driveway, a 2-car wide driveway.
Is there any mindset amongst, and I know the answer, amongst your colleagues to push back on the railroad rule that we don't have to have parking for apartments anymore in Lowell?
Well, we could go to can't be more restrictive than what was in place already, and it was a half a parking space per unit. So I've been looking at it. I'm kind of doing a little research whether or not we could, shift the zone closer to, parking garages. But we'd have to go back for state approval, but I've been doing a little research on it right now.
As we
talking-
sit here today, on Gorham Street, there's no signage that says no parking. So soon, you're gonna have people parked on Gorham Street at the entrance of the connector.
Well, that's gonna change, the connector's gonna change at the end of it, is that what you're saying?
No, you know where the Heinz property is?
Yeah,
They're
Of
gonna
course they
park
do.
on Gorham Street. We'll park on Gorham Street right there.
yeah, they won't be able to.
Yes, there's no signage.
Well, they'll put signage up.
Can't do it now.
Yeah,
You're losing court.
lose in court, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you'll lose in court. You can't do it now.
Yeah.
We're gonna put no parking because you wanna park there. No. They're gonna
Well, it's
park.
not wide enough there for.
They're gonna
for
park-
parking. I mean, there's certain streets I was surprised you could park on. You could park on Moore
would say-
Street. You can park on Moore Street.
Kim,
You could
yesteryear-
park on Moore Street.
We had thousands of funerals at a place called St. Peter's Church. Same width road. Thousands of funerals parked there. And thousands of people are gonna, not thousands, but people who live in Heinz, they're gonna park on Gorham Street. I don't think the city can push back on it at this
Yeah.
time.
Well, it's all being reconfigured too, so we'll see how that works
Have they-
into it.
I'm curious when, they come up with the half a parking spot per unit or whatever it is. Have we done enough studying to know that that's an actual livable statistic? You know what I mean? In terms of I get not every apartment has 2 cars, not every, family in a single home has, 2 or 4 cars, depending on the ages of the people that live there. But, when we come up with these things, are we revisiting them from time to time and making adjustments, or are we just assuming because at one point we only needed a half a spot per unit, and now that's,
Well, this is near parking garages, right? I mean, that's what this is all kind of centered around. So, I mean, it's the urban planners that decide what's the appropriate amount of spaces that you need. I feel like the MBTA district, extended too far over into back central, right? So, like you mentioned, are they gonna walk from Heinz to the parking garage? I said, my children would. I mean, the younger kids, they don't think anything of that, I don't think. But I think if we had pushed it closer to parking, and I'll give you an example, an area that I was looking at, remember where the old Chevys was over by the auditorium?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that area is not part of the zoning, but yet we have a large empty garage at the lower locks that we're losing money on right now. So I'm saying if we could have maybe looked more around the parking garages when we placed it.
Well, aren't we losing money there because in the deed for the hotel, we lost half the parking spaces? We have to subsidize those?
To UMass Lowell, is that what you're saying? They have the,
Whoever owns the hotel.
there's a lease there, yeah.
No, it's
And
in the
with
deed. It's not a
Middlesex.
lease, it's in the deed.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
We could tear that garage down and we have to still provide those, I think it's 250 parking spaces.
even though the hotel's not operational.
It's in the
It's-
deed.
Well, the hotel's still being used by the state right now,
Right, but I mean,
so.
but you would assume a number of those people that are using it don't have cars, because they're immigrants that have just come here, so how do they?
Knowing UMass Lowell, Marty, as tight as he is, you can't get to the hotel's parking spaces unless you stay at the hotel. It's not shared. They have floors they can use. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been in there, but I don't remember it being like that, but it's been a while,
Yeah, I haven't been in there in a long time.
Okay.
either.
been a while.
But I'm just saying feasibly, they're not using that.
It's one of the areas that they want to develop as well, is that property. It's a big development potential.
So setting aside all the city's problems, what good things are coming along, Kim?
What good things? Well, we have development happening, is that, I mean, we
What's
have,
being developed?
oh, gosh, there's a lot in the acre along Merrimack Street, a lot of properties that are happening. There's I can't think of the name of them, honestly, John. The
Okay.
Greek, Sophia's Greek Kitchen there is going over onto Merrimack Street. They're putting apartments up above that. You have the Lowell Housing Authority is gonna add another, 250 units of housing on Merrimack Street. You have the expansion in my district of the old Shaughnessy Terrace. There's 16 more units going in there. 16 more houses were
Okay.
approved. So there's a lot of housing going on. Obviously, we talked about Hamilton Canal District and Draper that's coming over here. Cabot Forbes is coming over here. Wind companies, right now, we did another agreement with them for another property at Hamilton Canal. So there's a lot of development happening.
Good.
Yeah. So, but then we have rising healthcare costs, 12%, the GIC plan. So some stuff is
Then
just
we have
out
that
of
fuzzy
control.
word called affordable.
Affordable.
Affordable
Yeah,
housing,
yeah.
affordable.
Affordable housing, affordable healthcare. I don't think there's such a thing. Fuel, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to go fill my gas tank when I leave here today. It's on empty.
Well, you're better off.
I
to-
tricked
I should
myself
have
and
bought a
just put like
hybrid this time. I
25.
didn't buy a hybrid. I
It's
regret
going
that.
up. It's going up. Might as well fill the car up. You
Yeah.
find that. Cheapest
yeah.
place around I can think of is in Tewksbury. There's a
Petro-
prime
Prime.
gas station there, and it's like a nickel cheaper than
That's
anyplace
where I
else.
usually go, is the Prime down by the library.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
I
you go
stopped at
there.
the cemetery.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised I
stopped at
haven't
the
seen you
cemetery
over
and-
there.
Yeah, it's my daily trip coming to the cemetery. I'm going over there.
I was gonna say, I tricked myself the other day and just, put like $25.
Oh, no, gosh, my car wouldn't even move if I did that. So,
I've been
I'm an
fortunate.
SUV,
Oh,
unfortunately.
I do.
so-
I have a big one, but
Yeah, I do
right
too.
now I'm blocked in the driveway. Yeah, my daughter's car is home while she's temporarily relocated to Florida, and my son's visiting and everything. So we're playing, magical cars the
Yeah,
other day,
we are
moving
too.
them, and so mine is, because I'm housed in the garage, been trapped, and so my daughter's the other day, I forget, she called and she said, "Are you in my car?" She must have been able to tell based on the, the phone clicking in through or something. She goes, "Are you in my car?" I said,
Yes.
I said, "I believe I'm the owner of all of the vehicles that are parked in Emerald Street right now,
Yeah,
so."
we're doing the same thing. My daughter just came back from college in DC, so she has her car on the driveway again. My other daughter graduated, and she actually graduated in December, but she's walking on this Friday. She graduates at
Congratulations.
Simmons, so yeah, that's exciting. So the other one only has one semester left. They both graduated a semester early, which was helpful, financially helpful. So
Yeah, nice to have that money back in the pocketbook.
yeah, it is. Yeah, something else will come up
Well,
though,
I was
John.
gonna
So now
say,
they're-
you would,
Now they said, oh, maybe we'll go right into our master's degree. I was like, maybe you should find a job that pays for that instead, So,
I was gonna say, there's always something that comes up. I'm about to lose one on my insurance, but I don't think it's gonna make it any cheaper.
oh, it's still a family plan, right? So it doesn't matter. Even with my husband, I think it's still a family plan. They don't offer like the +1 like they used to
Yeah.
do. So,
There are ways around it.
yeah.
but it
Well, we'll have to talk,
skirts-
I guess.
Skirts the law. Well, what you do is you create a company in New Hampshire.
Oh.
Create a company, and the New Hampshire company buys your vehicle, insures your vehicle. It's registered in New Hampshire. It's a company car. Doesn't care where it's housed.
Except for Tewksbury has a bylaw, like, you cannot have,
On the street.
no, even in driveways, if it's parked a certain number,
Lose-
whatever they call, substantial number of,
You'll lose in court.
days housed, they can go after it. Now, again, I don't know that it's fully enforced, but I know at businesses, especially like car businesses or other things, we have gone after, because technically that's money we should get for the excise tax, the vehicle.
My company car, I would take it to Hampton, and I'd get a free parking sticker for my company car in Hampton. And the only place I could get the free parking sticker was from the town manager. They wouldn't give it to me at the treasurer's office. So to go up and see the town manager, the town manager would just hand me a parking, so I got free parking with my company car. And the big thing was, you got mass plates, how can you do that? It's a company car. And I said to the girl, would you give back your company car? And the answer's always no. Would you give back a free car? No, I'm not gonna give back a free car.
Yeah, I do know there's a few businesses, especially, car dealerships or other things that they try to get, used car dealers, tried to make sure that any that are, registered or plated, all the plates belong to the address so that we get the taxes on it. It's not a lot, but, some days every dime helps.
So Kim, back to your meeting last night, any good crosstalk amongst any city councilors last night?
Any good crosstalk? I don't think so. Like I said, just the subcommit, just the nonprofit. I mean, that gets a little contentious, I think. Because someone said, "Oh, we need to find money for the nonprofits," and it's tough. I mean, we're in the middle of budget cuts.
We
and
need
we're
to
in the
find
middle-
money for the small businesses
Yeah,
that
yeah. See, that's what I'm
sadly
saying.
are
We need to
evaporating.
find money for the employees in the
I was gonna say,
city. and
city
we need to-
services
yeah,
need
city-
money.
City services need it right now, so it's kind of, it's sometimes, through the years, it's same with school committee. I mean, it kind of was one of my pet peeves where it's kind of like, okay, if you say that, but then come up with where you're going to come up with the money. You better have recommendations or, because just kind of saying, oh, we should give them money, like that doesn't really, it's kind of just empty talk,
Yeah, yeah.
So it feel good. It
Yeah,
feel good. And
yeah.
everyone says, oh, they're great.
They're
or,
standing up for me,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
standing up for me, but then nothing happens, and I'm kind of not about that.
Yeah.
Kind of like the action.
wise.
Yeah.
Or, if it's nice to say, come up with the money, but help us come up with the money. Don't just say, come up with the money. Give some suggestions.
Well, I think it was Bill Samaras. I'm bellyaching about Lowell General Hospital. And he says, well, they give us our health care. I says, well, Demoulas sells us our food. Do they get do they pay, they pay
yeah.
commercial rate. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Lowell General's ripping us off on taxes.
Yeah, I know there used to be a lot of talk. I should ask about that. There used to be a lot of talk about, in lieu of taxes, like
Payment in lieu of taxes,
payment in
the
lieu of
pilot.
taxes. Yeah, and then the other thing where, we need to really take a look at right now too is, I'm sure you remember this, Joe Mendonca,
Yeah.
always asking about the unaccepted streets. That was kind of his thing every month, and I feel like that's kind of fallen to the wayside too. So we have Dave Biotti now, the engineer. He's been taking a real look at, getting some of the streets adopted so that we can get the funding from the state for included. That's
If we're gonna get the
we're
money from
missing
the
out on
state,
a lot of funding.
Yes.
they all should. You should do it all.
So he's working, but it's an engineering job that needs to, each road needs to be examined for the width and different things to
Right.
get it accepted for the state for their application. So, but I spoke to him yesterday, I met with him, and he's working on that, so,
Good.
Yeah.
some
and
efficiencies they're looking into, so.
Tingsboro has a lot of unaccepted streets, and finding that, accepting them would mean, having to do a lot more work to get them up to what is considered the standard
that's
of
the-
acceptance.
yeah.
So, do you accept it, like, what's the benefit in some of them to accepting them? I live on an unaccepted street.
There's a lot of them. Do you live on an unaccepted?
I do.
Yeah.
Our
I didn't
developer
know,
was
in
allowed
theory,
to put,
yeah, and I didn't know
the
that
sidewalks.
means the residents are supposed to basically be responsible for upkeep of that street, for paving it, and, you're a taxpayer, so it's kind of a contentious thing,
Yes,
If we
yeah.
say, oh, we're not gonna pave your road because it's unapproved. So, but
or
we're
do
not
the
getting
bare
funded
minimum.
for it.
Yeah, our developer was allowed to make the street a little more narrow than what it should have been, and put the mailboxes we have sidewalks on one side of the street, but you can't really walk or ride a bike on it because they put the mailboxes right in the middle of the sidewalk. So houses on that side of the street, their mailboxes are
You
right
can
in
walk.
the
You can
middle
walk
of the
around
sidewalk.
by Hampton Beach, and the feds paid for brand spanking new cement sidewalks with telephone poles smack dab in
Oh,
them.
it's like South Lowell.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they didn't move the telephone poles. But there you are, pushing your baby carriage. You can't
go
get
on the
around the
road.
telephone pole.
That was one of my complaints with the Markley thing. They ran from the substation over on Quebec Street over to Markley, the new power lines. They say, oh, there was National Grid that did that, yes,
Yeah.
but it was for Markley to have power, additional power. And they put one pole, it's already in the middle of in the front of the sidewalk. They put it behind it, right in the middle. You can't even walk around the thing. Like, you couldn't push a carriage. They actually came back and they removed the ones that I put a motion in about it.
Good
but-
thinking.
yeah, but they're still not great. Where they are. Just the ones that they removed were the ones that literally were. You couldn't get by if you were in a wheelchair.
Do you have any idea what they were doing yesterday with the wires on Gorham Street?
Do I know? I don't know.
From the connector almost to Santoros.
I saw that. Yeah, they had the
Was
end
closed.
blocked. Yeah.
So I don't know
Not
what they
sure.
were doing.
No, I should find out though.
Putting new wires, it's done now, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but it could be related. You never know what they're. They bring
Well,
big equipment
how do you
down
know you're
there
getting the
and-
truth? How do you know you're getting the truth these
Oh,
days?
I get the truth.
People, they make up a fairy tale.
Yeah, so, speaking of, you just mentioned the wires and utilities, they're doing, septic lines on Cedar Street. And some people had asked me about their trash, just if anyone listens, that they are planning on picking it up, getting down there today, and if they're unable to, they'll go back to get it, so.
Oh, that's
So
good.
put it out anyways,
That's
even though
good.
the road is closed, they said still put it out,
Speaking of trash, are we still picking up Lowell Housing Authority's trash?
yeah,
No end in sight?
no.
Okay. Not okay, but I understand.
They pay for trash pickup, but,
They don't pay, they pay the subsidized rate as far
yeah,
as,
we don't pick up their recycling, that's interesting that we stopped picking up their recycling though.
because they don't.
Yeah,
They use both barrels
to
for
mingle,
trash.
yeah, together, yeah, so they did stop that. It
Yep.
was interesting to me, so. Driving here today, I have to say, you could drive by and you'd think, oh, the trash is really bad still, you'll come across houses that are overflowing everywhere, but I will say it's a lot better than it was. So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
definitely doing enforcement, around it, but it's still bad.
So is your rule this similar to ours, where the lid has to close all the way?
Yeah, it's supposed
or
to be closed all the way.
they won't pick it up. I've seen them sometimes, where if it's a little, they'll take it. If it's a little
Yeah.
more, they'll take it. If it's,
Yeah.
but then they kind of.
But I noticed today
draw
some of the
line.
ones that were open actually
Yeah.
had the purple bags inside. So they were open because they had the purple bags inside
So
it.
if you pay the purple,
So-
a purple bag means you paid an extra
You
fee
paid-
and they can
yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
Purple bag's supposed to be put on top of the lid.
Yeah, on top of the lid, but instead it was on top of, so, I mean, you could still see it. And most of the ones that I saw overflowing were actually the recycling bins. So that was interesting to me. It was, cardboard or whatever, and
Yeah.
it wasn't all broken down probably.
We're always gonna have trash. We have too much trash.
Yeah, we do, and
Yes.
it's another big cost, massive cost increase.
Well, my complaint about that is put it on my real estate taxes. Let me write it off.
Yeah.
Why do I have to pay it as a fee? I can see the water because we all use different amounts of water, but trash is trash. I have so many barrels, you have so many barrels, and that's it.
Yeah, you can write it off as a business though, right? Can't you?
Not as a personal.
Yeah.
I don't think the business has one.
But you can't, you
You can write off water and trash though on your business.
On business, you write everything off.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
Which means you take it as an expense on the corporation.
Right.
And the corporation pays on how much profit you make, and since you can write off trash coverage, by that I mean take it off on your taxes, you pay less taxes.
Yeah.
But to the individual, everybody who owns a house, you can't write that off. And what is it, $100 a year, something like that?
It's more than
Pick
that
up the
now.
trash.
It's
All
more
right,
than
$200
that.
a year, whatever it
The
is.
tipping fees like doubled. The only thing, yeah, you are right about that. I mean, the only thing about that is if it's not in the enterprise fund separate and with the water bill, then it's being charged on the tax bill, which means that everybody that owns a condo or doesn't get trash pickup pays.
Well, we're screwing
as
the
well,
condo people.
so. I'm sorry?
Quite bluntly, we've been screwing the condo people forever.
Right.
Anybody
So
who
this
has
doesn't. This brings it off of the,
over 6 units, I think, we screw you too.
yeah, 6 units, yeah.
Yeah, then we don't pick up your trash. And I just think that the city should find a way to get a reduced rate for those people from our trash hauler,
For the condos, you mean?
for the condos
Yeah.
and for those who have over 6 units.
Well, they asked now that it's in the enterprise fund whether or not that's something they could look at as doing it as a contract with everything, so. Yeah, and I know I was talking to some people down on Swan Street, and they were telling me the same thing, that their private trash pickup has gone through the roof as well, so,
Oh, yeah, because once the competition dries up, the price goes way up.
yeah. Well, things are crazy. We have a place up in Alton, New Hampshire, and we have a dump there, and the dump permit was always $1, and then years back it went to $2, and people were up in arms up in Alton. And the next year, this never happens in Massachusetts, right? The next year we went back and it was back down to $1. We were kind of surprised. We went this year to go get it. It was $20.
Well, down in Happy Hampton, on Memorial Day, they pick up the trash. On a Monday, they pick up the trash.
Is that
Holiday,
private?
they
Or
don't-
that's public?
No, town.
Oh,
Town truck, town
surprised.
employees.
they probably, well, I can see up there, probably because they don't want it with the Memorial Day crowd. They don't want that
yeah, that's
extra.
true.
Around here, okay,
Yeah.
you know what's gonna happen Memorial Day weekend? Around 11:30, everybody's shutting their computers off in town government, and we'll see you Tuesday. That's the way holidays work in Massachusetts. Now in New Hampshire, to see the guys picking up the trash on Memorial Day, it's remarkable.
But I think it's like she just said, it's such a busy area because of the tourist crowds that they probably do it. They fund it overtime at triple time or whatever they do. You know what I mean?
You're right on that. In summertime, they pick up our trash 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to kind of stay on top of it up there.
Well, they don't have, why do they do the whole town for 3 days a week? They should just do,
The tourist area?
yeah, just the Happy Hampton, right where the
Happy Hampton, is
attractions
that
are.
what you call
Yeah.
that area?
Happy Hampton, where they're having all the casinos and all the
Yeah.
cotton candy
It's
and all
had
the
a
junk
rebirth
food.
up there, huh?
Well, it's just amazing how much trash is put out there. And
I
people,
would assume some of those, even like, not just like kind of that main drag, but other places still with, rental units and other things. It just behooves them to.
well, like UPS.
Get up
UPS,
Sunday.
he's got a little computer that tells him you're stopping at 14 Highland Street, you're stopping at 52 Highland Street. It tells you they can have the same thing in the trash truck. Go to this address, pick up all the trash and move on. Don't pick up the whole street.
But But then you
But
get somebody
Hampton's
that
not asking me,
says,
we're not on the Hampton yet, we're talking about Hampton right now, but we'll see what happens with them.
but then they figure they're driving by, they might as well, if it's out, pick it up.
So Kim, you got any road trips planned for the summer?
Road trips.
Vacations?
I have a trip to Ireland in
Oh,
August.
nice. How long you going for?
9 days.
Nice.
9 days. So
Almost
I don't
enough.
have it completely laid out yet where we're gonna go, but I'm working on it.
Good for you.
So we have the airfare. I booked that a few months ago, and I
Fabulous.
don't want to make hotel. I'd like to not make reservations for like the hotels because I'd kind of like to just drive, but I'm a little worried because they said August is a very busy time of year. But it would be kind of fun just to wing it and see where we end up.
Rent a pickup truck.
Yeah. I'm renting a car, a small car. They
If you
said.
rent a pickup truck, you can sleep in the back.
I'm pretty nervous. I know we might need to, right? So, but I'm a little nervous about driving over there.
Are they on the other side?
Yeah, other side of the car, other side of the road. Yeah. So
I only did that once in Bermuda. I didn't like it.
you did it in Bermuda. I did it in Bermuda too,
And,
years ago.
My favorite story to talk about Bermuda is me and my 2 kids were on our little mopeds, and we got lost. Just couldn't find our way back to the ship. So we
It's not a
see-
very big island, Justin.
But still, it's a thing
12
where
miles, they say, right?
if you get lost in Pawtucketville and you're trying to find
Yeah.
the train station, you go, oh. So my genius idea was follow the bus that says we're going to St. George. Follow the St. George bus. So we're following the St. George bus. Around the 3rd stop, the cops show up. They pull us over and say, what are you guys doing? I said, we're following the St. George bus because we don't know where we're going. So the cops brought us back to the boat, which was nice of them to do that. But
Yeah. Yep, so that's our big trip this year. That was my daughter's graduating, and that's where she wants to go. So it's kind of her trip. We'll
Oh,
probably
big-
have to do another one next year for the other daughter. So
well, hey, go while you can, I'll tell you, because
Yeah.
someday you'll be an old bag of bones like me and can't move around like you wanted
well,
to.
she went to college for a semester in London. And while she was there, she traveled all over the place, all over Europe. And the one place she didn't go was Ireland. She was kind of saving it for our trip. But she went absolutely everywhere. What a great experience that is for them. I wish I had done that when I was younger, you know? So, yeah, you're right. Do it while you're young. So, yeah.
'Cause you have-
Ireland, I'd like to go. The next one, I'm hoping my younger one wants to go to Greece because that's where I'd like to go next.
Well, fun is to go to London, take the train under the water
Yeah.
to go to Paris for a couple of days. It's a fantastic trip.
Yeah, that's what she did. She went to Paris a couple days. She went up to Scotland. She went to Amsterdam, Italy. She took in the flights from England to go to Italy at like $39. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So she was able to just kind of hop on and take all these different tours and everything. So nice experience.
They travel around much more freely, I think, than we do
Yeah. Yeah.
over there.
Well, Google Translate makes it easier too. Because if you don't speak French or you don't speak German or you don't speak Greek, it's a lot easier with that Google Translate.
Yeah, I went to France. I had a hard time, and they're not as
I was gonna
friendly
say,
about
yeah,
some
my s-
areas. Some areas in France aren't. So in Germany, I went to Germany as well, and they weren't as.
Well, they're very prejudiced against Americans.
When my son was just in Argentina last year, the Google Translate didn't serviced him well, but he still ran into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, we went to Gruyere. Gruyere, is that how you say it? Like Gruyere cheese, like
Yeah.
the village there, and no one was speaking English when we were there, so it was we were kind of pointing around at things. So I should have had an app. I didn't even think of that, I guess. So yeah, great trip.
Good for you. I wish you the best weather when you get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope.
Hillary's going down to Virginia. That's her summer plans. That's the only thing I know of that she's going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
in
only thing.
Virginia.
So
Where are you going?
my dad lives
Oh,
there, and so
nice.
every June for his birthday, my brother and I road trip it down there together, sibling
Oh, a sibling road trip. Oh,
a
that's
sibling
fun.
road trip.
Did
He's
you grow
probably-
up there, or did you?
No, I grew up in Vermont, but my dad's been in Virginia most of my life. So I like to fly there. There was a period of time where I would meet my brother down there. He would drive and I would fly. But
I don't
past
like
few
that road trip. I
the
don't like that road
past
trip.
few years, he conned me, and he's probably the only person I could do that trip with. I sometimes get a lot of car anxiety, so he's probably the only person I would trust to get me there and back.
So your fingernails are gone too?
And yeah, and he
Tough ride. You go through Connecticut and,
And-
you just get stuck
yeah,
in hours
and-
of traffic.
my brother and I are the same philosophy of like, you only stop when you need gas. So if you plan your snacks and beverages accordingly, because we're only stopping when we need gas. We drove to Florida a number of times when the kids were little, and
Oh, I've never taken that. I don't think I could do that.
there would be a time or two where it would be a little bit of a family discussion, and I'd be like, no, we don't need gas. We got another 100 miles.
Well, the amazing thing to me was south of the border, how abandoned south of the border really is. You see these signs all over the place for
Yes.
south of the border. You
We
get there,
used to
there's
love
nobody
the
there.
south.
Yeah.
We used to love it when we were close enough to start getting the south of the borders.
Yeah, I never saw such a place.
never
It's
done
kind
that.
of a dump.
Yes, it is, run down.
But the signs,
It
they
looks
put
it from the signs,
They
it
put
looks
all
like
their
it's run
money
down.
into the signs.
Yeah, my daughter goes to school in DC, and I tell her I do not do that road trip anymore. I really don't like it. I always fly no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, it's like being on, it isn't scenic at all. It's like being on 495 for days.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
came home last week. I drove my husband to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning. He took a flight down there, and then he drove
Drove
back
back.
with her. So I don't
Yeah, so that's.
I don't volunteer to do that one. So,
That's-
but she moves back there. She has an apartment off campus because
yeah.
she's a senior. So she moves back June 1st.
So we got like 10 minutes left. So any bad news coming for city employees, like layoffs coming?
Yeah, there's layoffs coming, unfortunately.
Can you adventure a guess how many people are going to get laid off?
No, I have not counted them in the budget.
Okay.
They haven't told me how many there are. So I just started reading it yesterday. We received the budget last night for the first time, so. So I'll be reading that this weekend, all weekend.
So sorry for the people who are going to
Yeah,
get laid
very,
off.
very unfortunate.
And how about the
Not
school?
good
How about
times.
does that include the schools? Because I'm told school side, same problem.
Same.
People
Yeah.
get laid off
Yeah.
over there too.
Yeah, a lot of positions, well, not a lot, but, a number of positions came from increases from ARPA, with ARPA funding. I know on the school side, I mean, that was going away. I think everyone knew that funding source was going away.
Well, somebody was telling me 2 days ago that if you, the unions already know who's going to get laid off. Is there any truth to that, to your
The
knowledge?
unions already know?
The
Or
unions
layoffs
already know
that
who is getting, not just how many, who is getting laid off. They
People
know.
are already notified, is that what you're saying? Employees were notified.
I wasn't told that part. I was told the unions already know who's getting laid off.
No, the employees were notified because the budget went live yesterday. So
Yeah.
you can look in the budget and you can see which positions have been eliminated. So it's my understanding is that the human resources notified the employees already.
Okay.
So, which is, as I said, very unfortunate. Never,
So is it one
I've
where?
been through large company layoffs
Yeah.
and it's not a good thing.
Well, front page today's paper, there's two companies having big layoffs.
Yeah, to see that Dover Salary and Cardinal Health, I saw that.
Yeah.
Big Dover Salary's been there for.
And people are afraid of AI. What's AI going to do? And
That's a big thing. I mean, I was talking about this, I made a few phone calls this past week and they will not let you talk to a person. It is all AI bots like that you're talking to on the phone for customer service right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have to just, it can't, it's not right, like it doesn't get what you're saying, right?
And it's not the old days where you just constantly press zero when you get
Yeah,
somebody.
that's what I was trying to do.
Like, I go through that, and then all of a sudden they hang up on me, and I have to call back.
I hit zero and it says, let me try again.
Yeah.
And then it starts all over again with the questions.
It's not
I mean, it's a
understood.
real concern. I mean, what is this gonna do to jobs? I mean, it's not creating many jobs, that's for sure, these data centers.
that's not.
So,
Yeah.
there's just a big
And I-
Boston Globe article about, the loss of jobs in Massachusetts that will come from AI. So there's a lot of people, on both sides of that saying it's gonna expand certain jobs and, but.
Well, the other thing too, Kim, you weren't here for the first hour. Talking to Hillary about it. I was listening to C-SPAN yesterday, day before, and there was a guy there about schools. In high schools, the senior class, the number of people, we'll say we have 500 people in our senior class. There's only 250 people, 250 kids in kindergarten. It's half. The downsizing of schools is going to become
I know, I think I just saw
Severe.
my nephew was graduating from Tewksbury High, and I think, well, he's not yet, but he's a junior, but the graduating class, I guess they had something written up that I saw, and I think it said 171 students, and I graduated from Tewksbury High, and there were 450 kids in my class. I was kind of
Yeah.
surprised when I saw that.
And when we see the city has more administration than they had in the 60s, something's going to give.
Yeah, but there's a lot more regulations, you know? I mean, there is. It's
Kim,
these federal and these
that's a
state
big fat
regulations.
excuse. What's AI
Yeah.
for? What's it?
Yeah.
Get some AI to
Yeah,
take
but
care
I mean,
of that
if
stuff.
as someone who has just, really started embracing AI and some of the things, you can put stuff in there, but you still need someone to
Oh,
check
yeah,
it.
it's
Like,
not
it's not accurate.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
it thinks it knows what you're talking about. And so I always view it as, maybe that's still keeping me honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that I like,
Yes.
right? So I'll write
Yeah.
an email to a customer at work, and
Yes.
sometimes I'll put it into AI just to say, make this sound
Yeah,
Spruce it
friendlier,
up a little
make
bit.
this sound friendlier, or make this sound more polite, or I just use these little buzzwords to,
Yep.
and it's nice, like I said, for that, like to have a nice response to a resident to make sure that you didn't say something wrong, or
But I had a thing where I inherited some marketing materials for something, and we were trying to revise it, and so we were trying to find the image that they used, and come to find out, the image that they used of the Washington monuments that was AI generated had the street on the wrong side of the monument.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no we kept thinking we couldn't. We kept trying to find the image and we couldn't, and then all of a sudden we put the image into AI and AI produced that same image, and it's like, but that's not right. You look at that and anybody from DC would know the street is not on that side of the monument.
Sometimes I've seen it, they'll put like an extra hand in the picture, like there'll be two hands, on the left side or something, and I'm kind of like, is this somebody that's just kind of like playing behind the scenes, like some programming?
I
Yeah.
mean,
You
AI
definitely
is
have
great,
to check it, but
yeah.
yeah. So, but like I said, I am worried about the jobs where it's going.
Yeah, because there's some industries that when I work with a healthcare group, they said that they've replaced all of some of the intake stuff at hospitals with the AI chatbots. So you call and do all your pre-appointment stuff. But eventually when you see somebody, they have to verify everything that's gone in there. So have we really saved
That's
anything?
one less maybe one person doing what 5 would have done or whatever. So,
But, they're like, at the end of the day, you still have to have somebody that's...
Well, most small companies think of AI like the computer. The computer works 365, 24/7. If you go into your workplace at 3 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, your computer's going to work. AI is the same thing. AI is going to be working at 3 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day. And that's what they think the big advantage is, 24/7 service. They don't have to do anything but collect money.
yeah. I don't think we're going to eliminate people though. So,
Yeah. You're always
So-
going to need something.
Someone checking the work or someone, So, and the car, you're talking about your car too, driverless cars, like that's another. It's like, it feels like we're, in sci-fi a little bit with this.
Yeah.
So, doesn't it?
The driverless cars are amazing.
I was
Yeah,
going to
have you
say,
ever
I
seen
think
a
we have to
driverless
have...
car?
He's got one.
No, he doesn't have a
My,
driverless
my
car.
wife
driverless
has
car.
my wife has self-driving in her car.
Self-driving.
My
yeah.
son took one of those Woo cars in
Yeah, that's what I
Vegas,
thought.
and he says it's just
Really?
it's just scary to sit in the back seat and see the steering wheel go wacky
That's
all
what
over
I
the
think
place.
is-
But
Yeah.
got them to their destination.
Oh, I think that's bizarre.
I mean,
they
as
talk
much
about-
as sometimes you fear the Uber driver that comes up, I don't know that I would get in a car with nobody.
Nobody. Well, but bizarre feeling, wouldn't it be in
Like
the
what?
back
Like
seat?
what if it decides to just take you off course? You have no.
Hillary,
Control.
both of you fly. Both of you fly. You
Yeah.
fly more than
And they're
anybody I
pretty
know,
much on
Hillary.
autopilot,
I know.
right? Yeah.
And
But
how
there
many
is somebody
times
there to
do-
take the wheel.
How many times does the pilot let the plane take off by itself? And how many times does the pilot let the plane land itself?
But they're still there, like she said.
still
If there's
I
an
understand.
emergency,
I understand
someone-
they're still there, but
Yeah, I
it's
guess
just
that's the
the
thing. if there's an
technology is
emergency.
there, and so the airline
Sometimes what you
companies have
don't know. Well, sometimes what you don't know is good for you. When you know When you know how the sausage is made, you don't always want to
But
eat
the
it.
airlines say, why should I pay a pilot $250,000 a year when I don't need them?
Because there'll be that one time that you do.
And then you'll go on the internet and you'll say, the tickets are cheaper on Jet Red than they are on Jet Blue. I'm going to go to Jet Red. So what? They don't have a real pilot.
No, not doing it.
I mean, I've gotten into some. My husband hates anything new on the cars. He doesn't like, any of it. And I mean, I've started to like a lot of the new
Yeah.
safety features and the bells and whistles. The cameras. I like all of that. So.
I rely on my camera.
Yeah, I love it now. But
My complaint driving my daughter's car, she doesn't have the side mirrors don't have the warning.
the one, mine.
My son's like, you should be looking anyway. Why do you rely on that? I'm like,
And you
I
do
do
start to
look,
rely on it.
I do look, but I rely on it. I will say I
had to
rely
take
on my blind
we have
spot.
a minivan, like an older
Yeah.
minivan that we keep for my husband because he has a service truck at work. And it's an old minivan. I had to take it to work the other day. And I was lost. I couldn't figure out where to put I'm like, where's my keys? I'm looking for my keys. They're in the ignition. There's actually a key that goes in. I spent like 5
Exactly.
minutes looking around and where did I put the key? So-
Yeah, I'm driving my daughter's car this morning, and I went to get out here, and I hear the ding, 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 and I'm like, well, I must have had that, and I was like, oh, I have a key in the ignition.
Yeah. It's weird how you get so used to it, though. With
Yes.
So we're coming up to the end of the show, so I got two little
Yeah.
announcements I'm going
Yes.
to make. Sam Meese is having a party tomorrow at the Saigon Sandwich House, 507 Dutton Street. Starts at 6 o'clock and goes to 9 p.m. So, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, it's Friday, May 15th. So, hope to see you
Friday
over
night.
there. And then tomorrow, City Life, we got Evelyn Thorne's the host with Sam Chase. And Vivian Merrill, she's an insurance expert. She's got the gift of gab. She's a super volunteer in Chelmsford, so I'm looking forward to seeing Vivian too. Time is short, Hillary. Thanks.
Time is short. The O'Donnell
Thank you,
ribbon
yes.
cutting is delayed for Monday. The O'Donnell Park, they were gonna have a ribbon cutting, but a piece of equipment needs to be repaired already, under warranty, so. So they don't wanna open that.
Rita
until
didn't
that's
break
done.
the swing, did she?
Oh.
Do you see that
I
picture?
know, I saw that. Yeah. Oh, she's a hoot, isn't she? I saw her at the slide too, at the Clemente Park up there.
I didn't see the slide
stunning.
picture, but I did see Eric Gitchia took pictures on this.
Yeah,
Nice.
pushing her higher and higher, yeah. So-
Nice. Well, enjoy the beautiful day, everyone, and stay dry during the few days of rain that we sorely need.
On my daughter's graduation day,
Oh,
though.
no,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. It's all hope it doesn't rain on Friday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning.
And where is she
Simmons.
Where's their location for graduation?
MGM
Oh, okay.
Music Hall.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that would be good.
So Kim, thank you for your excellence, and
thank
Hillary,
you.
thanks for
of course.
hosting today. Good job. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Hope Linda feels better.